Yes, good morning. I am teacher Alphonse. I'll be teaching you social studies, grade 8. And I hope you enjoy my lesson. So, before we start, let's write the date. So, we are going to learn the Constitution of Kenya. So, please, I will request you to listen to me. So, we are going to learn the Constitution of Kenya. The Constitution of Kenya. But before that, let's look at the government of Kenya. The government of Kenya. This is a very important topic in your class, and it's also a very important topic because it teaches us more or a lot containing or detailing our country. So, in the government of Kenya, we are going to talk about the Constitution of Kenya. So first, I have to tell you, it's good for someone to be able to define, to explain, and to know what is the Constitution of Kenya. So I have to tell my pupils what is the Constitution and what it is. Now the Constitution of Kenya, suppose you might be asking your exam, what is the Constitution? Constitution is just a set of rules that outlines how a country or the government is governed. It's a set of rules that outlines how a government is governed. That is the first thing that you have to know. So we first had the first Constitution of Kenya that was established in 1962. Why do we say this? This was the first constitution that ushers us in to the independence. So, it was established in 1962. But it ended up, how? It ended up because our country had to be given or had to have a new constitution. So, on August 2010, we came up with a new constitution. But how can we have a new constitution? We can have it by doing what is called amendments, by doing what is called reviewing. In our case, in 2010, we had to do what is called reviewing of the Constitution. Reviewing of the Constitution. But first, why did we not do the amendments? Somebody might ask me a question like that. Why? Because we had to change almost the whole Constitution. Why can somebody change the whole Constitution? Perhaps someone finds it that the whole Constitution wasn't good enough for our country in terms of economic development, social, even other responsibility and accountability of our nations. So we had to do what is called reviewing of the Constitution. Like most of the sections were changed fully. But amendments, we only changed certain sections of the Constitution. Now, in the Constitution of Kenya, that was reviewed, began to work on August 2010. Now, from here, the government was formed. See how enjoyable it was. Now, as we know, we have got the branches of the government. We have got the branches of the government. Because a government must be run. A government must be run. A state has to be run. So here, first we have got 3 branches of the government. The first one, we have legislature. Right? We have got the legislature. And the second one, we have got the judiciary. And And lastly, the third one, we have got the executive. Executive. Very important. The three are very important. As you can see, legislature, judiciary, executives. All these arms of the government have got functions. And the functions are very essential or are very vital for the government to be run, or for the state to be run. Without all these, our state would have been an anarchy. Remember, the anarchy is a state that is not run by any rule, or there is no law at all. So people do what they want, and that is inappropriate. So first, I want us to look at the judiciary. In that matter, judiciary. Yes. So in the judiciary, this one is a very important arm of the government. It has a role. What is the role of it first, before we give out the composition? Because we have to define it, give the composition, and also the roles. The composition, if you talk about the composition, are those people that makes up the judiciary. You get that? Secondly, we want to look at the roles. What are the roles? Do we have courts over here? Do we have courts in our judiciary? Do we have judges? That's very important. Now, let's start with the role. What is the role of the judiciary in our country, or in the court system of Kenya? Good. Now, the judiciary here interprets the law. It interprets the law. Interprets the law. It interprets the law. Judiciary, just to add, or in addition, it also ensures that there is justice in our country. Justice. Because if there is justice in your country, our economy will grow. People will respect other people's property. And no human rights will be infringed or will be tampered with. So justice must be shown. And that is why we say justice, it ensures justice. It also interprets the law. In our country we say, ignorance has got no power in the court of law. That is a fact. And that's why we say the role here is to interpret it. Secondly, the role here is to ensure there is appropriate or fair justice to all. There is no biasness in court. And the court should not have any delay at all matter. Now, in our country, we have got what is called the hierarchy of courts. The hierarchy of courts. What is this hierarchy? The hierarchy is, do we have the highest court of the land? Yes. Do you have the second highest court of the land? Yes. Do you have the high courts? Yes. Like that, it goes down. Now, suppose we start with the highest court of the land. The first one is the Supreme Court. Supreme Court. Supreme Court. Please listen to this. It's very important. Take it, do not take it on a later note, because this one is set. Very important. So this is Supreme Court of Kenya. This one is the highest court of the land. You get it? Now, who are, or what are the compositions of the Supreme Court? The first, the president of the court is the Chief Justice. So let's start with that. Chief Justice. That is the president of the court, the head of this court. In the Judicial Service Commission, this is the head of the court. He is the president in the judiciary as a branch of the government, or as an arm of the government. Now, we have got another person, which is very important here. Who is this person? We have got the Deputy Chief Justice. We have got Deputy Chief Justice. This person is such his presence, his services, or the task that he carries on is almost the same as the Chief Justice, but it works much better than when the Chief Justice is not there or in his absence, or all of them can work together. But in the Supreme Court, we have got a composition of a number of 7 judges. We have got Chief Justice, we have got Deputy Chief Justice, and other 5 judges. And other what? 5 judges. So other 5 judges. Now if you look at this composition, let's have a look at it. We have Chief Justice, we have Deputy Chief Justice, and 5 other more judges. That one comes or makes it 7 in number. You see that? It comes to 7 in number. Now, in the Supreme Court of Kenya, we have got a total of 7 judges. Full stop. No more. And nothing else. So, what we want to look at, what is the function of this Supreme Court? Good. Now we say, the function of the Supreme Court is to listen to the petition relating to the elections of the president of a state like Kenya. Remember, in our country, after the election, then when one of the aspirants was not satisfied with the verdict is what comes out, then he had said, no, the election was not fair, then I have to seek for help. How can I seek for help? I have to seek for justice. So, election of the presidential petition is not taken to the High Court, is not taken to Magistrate Court, but it is taken directly to the Supreme Court of Kenya. This is the highest court of the land, So, a presidential election petition is heard at the Supreme Court of the land. That is the function. So, if you ask in your exam, which is the highest court of the land, then you will speak of Supreme Court. What is the function? Listens or hear the presidential election petition. Full stop. If you are asked, tell me, how many judges are there? Top of 7, that is the number, Chief Justice, Deputy Chief Justice, and 5 other more judges. Only that makes it to 7. And that means we have done away with the Supreme Court. We are going to the second highest court of the land. Second highest court of the land. Don't forget, we have Court of Appeal. We have got the Court of Appeal. This is another vital court or another vital part of it in the court system of Kenya. Now, let's look at the composition of this court system. It has got 12 judges. Then we say, as prescribed by the Act of the Parliament. That means that approval, the president will appoint, yes, but for them to start, there must be approval by the Act of the Parliament. If the Act of the Parliament decides or says that we should have that, this and such judges, now it is there. But we say it has got 12 judges as prescribed by the Act of the Parliament. Those acts of the Parliament, those are the laws or the statutes, or those are laws made in the Parliament. So, Act of the Parliament. Then we should now have 12 judges. They are called peacenik judges. Peacenik judges. Very important. Peacenik judges. Those are 12 judges in the Court of Appeal. Now, here it doesn't do a lot of work, but we can just mention one, which is very important. The first function is listens. We say it listens, or hears any additional evidence from these other lower superior courts. In these other lower superior courts. Because in every court system, we have got the lower courts that has got an influence on the higher court has got an influence on the lower courts. These lower courts their verdict can be influenced with the superior courts. That is, they might either give a defaulting precedence. A precedent is something that you can learn after a certain judgment of so and so or so many years back. So they have got jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is power and mandate. They have that jurisdiction to do what? To accept any additional evidence from the lower court. That is like the court martial, the Kadhi courts, from the High Court of Kenya. So here we have got the Court of Appeal. Let's say we say accept any additional evidence from the case at the lower system. Why do we say that? It accepts any additional evidence for the lower case. Why do we say this? It is the Court of Appeal that hears a case for the second time. Get it right. It hears a case for the second time. Yes, second time. You cannot take if you are not satisfied at the High Court of Kenya, then you say, no, the judge gave his verdict and I am not satisfied. Where else do I have to go? You can't go home and tell mom, oh mom, the case was not good on my side. No, you have to seek for a help. Where? To the higher court, which is superior. Now, if you are in the high court, you have to go to the Court of Appeal. They have the power to relook into your case once again. That's why I say it listens to the case in the second time. I mean, for the second time. Just like. Now let us go to the third highest court. You know, we have the hierarchy is moving from the highest to the lowest. High court. That is the high court. In the high court, as I mentioned before or earlier, the high court is also another important court in the court system of Kenya, or in the hierarchy of court system in Kenya. So here we have got two other special courts. Like we also have got the Kadhi courts. We also have got the martial courts. These are very important courts in the high court system, So high courts is subdivided into two. We have got Kadhi courts and we also have got the martial courts. And we also have got the martial courts. Now, I want us to look at, let us know the existence of the Kadhi courts. Let us know the existence also of the martial courts. Very important. Very, very important. Very, very important. So if you come to the Kadhi courts, this court will be dealing with cases that are majorly based on the Islamic religion. Both parties must be Muslims. Both parties must be Muslim. Those parties must be Muslims. Look at that. There's no way you can take a Christian to the Kadhi courts. It doesn't work like that, and that is the law. So Kadhi courts deals with cases that are related to the Muslims only. Period. let's look at, before you forget, in the County Courts, we have got different cases that may appear on this, like we can talk of marriage rights or marriage cases. All these issues are solved there of the Muslims. So let's talk of marriage cases, any wrangles, any other disputes. That are related to Muslim part of it are had here. Now let's come to the martial courts. It's very important. This is a temporary court that is actually based on the defense forces. So this one is that in the forces, like in Kenya, we have got the armed forces, we have got KDF, that is Kenya Defense Forces. This court is meant for them. It will be such uncouth, such inappropriate to take a Kenya Army or Kenya Air Force to any court. No, it doesn't work like that. They have got their own special court that is known as special courts, that's known as martial courts. This is meant for them. And if you are asked, why must they be taken there? Here, if they're taken there, they also have, this one will act as their disciplinary act to them, so that if somebody has done something or happens to breach the law, he will be corrected here. And when somebody is corrected, listen to me here, then we have what is called a remedy. What is a remedy? That will be the punishment for that person. That will be the punishment for that person. Now, what are the, if I may say, what could be the remedy of these forces? The first remedy here, the martial court of martial courts, this person could be punished. That is first. Secondly, this person may go without salary. You look at that. Those are some severe remedies for these people. You get it? So that is how it works. Then let us go down to the other courts here. We have what is called resident magistrate court. Then lastly, we have got district magistrate court. So this is the lowest court of the land, very lowest, and people from local can go take their cases here and they be solved appropriately and fairly. That becomes, so that marks the end of the judiciary. Now we want to look at the executive as the arm of the government. Now we have what the executive as the arm of the government. So here we are also going to look at the composition of the executive. We are going to look at the composition of the executive. Now, who are these people that are actually composed or make up this executive as an arm of the government? Now, the first person, we have the president. We have got the deputy president, the cabinet secretaries, the secretary of the cabinet, the head of civil servants. Now, I want to just give just a bit clarification on this composition. So the first one, as I say, the president, he chairs the meeting of the cabinet. He chairs the meeting for the cabinet. The deputy president must be there. The head of civil servant, this head of civil servant, he is the head of all the workers for the government. So that whatever that will emerge in the meeting, or if something needs to be implemented, it is now their role to do the implementation. Now, if you are asked, what will be the functions of the cabinets, because there are these people that makes up the executives. Now, if somebody asks, what is the function of the cabinets? These people will be advising the president. They will be offering the pieces of advice to the president. And before, lest I forget, as I said, we have got the deputy president, we have got the president, we have got the secretary to the cabinet, we have got the cabinet secretary, we have got the attorney general. Very important. The attorney general, its function is to advise the government. The government, you understand, the government, this is composed of the executive because they run it. So he advised the government. So that when the government are making the policies, they should make the policies according to the Constitution of Kenya. They should ensure that the policies that are made are consistent to the laws of the land. Because if they happen to make the policies that is inappropriate or is not in correspondence with the law of Kenya or with the Constitution of Kenya, then this will not become a law. It will be voidable. It will be void. It will be null and void because it doesn't correspond. It doesn't go consistent with the Constitution of Kenya. That is why the presence of Attorney General is always very vital in the cabinet meeting. Very important. So if I may ask, you might be asked by the examiner, what is the function of the executive? The executive formulates the policies that will be used in the governing of a state, and it will be implemented. How will this take place? It will take place since we have the head of civil servants. It is the civil servant that will take the implementation part of it. Very important. Take the implementation part of it. These are the police. The teachers are there, they teach. Those who are working here, we have got different ministries, we have got employees there. You see that? So very important. Now, since we have relooked at all the various purposes of these people making the composition of the executive, and we have now known the function of the executive, like, is to formulate the government policies, and it is in this arm of the government that implementation of these policies are made. Implementation of policies. Implementation of the policies. You get it, right? That's how it is. So, formulate the government policies and implementation of those policies. Very important. That is their role. Now, we want to look at the last one, that is the legislature. Here we are going to look at the laws. So we're going to look at the legislature. So in the legislature is also known as the Parliament of Kenya. It is also known as Legico. All those names meant for them. Legico, we used that name earlier, before, during the pre-colonial period, but right now it's what we call the parliament. Why do we say parliament is known as the legislature? Because they legislate. They make that law, they legislate. And that's why the word legislature, how the word legislature came. Now, very important. Very, very important. If here we are now asked, we have got two houses in the parliament. First, we have got the Senate. Second one, we have got the National Assembly. Somebody may ask him or herself, as why would we have the Senate? A while ago, we were having the National Assembly only. Because of the devolved system, or because of our new constitution of Kenya, it has actually made us to come up with the Senate, so that the government is now subdivided into two through the devolution, where we now have the national government and we also have the county government. They operate, they coordinate, so that they ensure the state is run appropriately. Now, if we look at the Senate, in our country, we have got 47 counties. Don't forget that. 47 counties. And in the 47 counties, we also have in the 47 counties, we must ensure that every county must be headed by a governor. That is why in the county system we must have a governor. We have 47 governors. We have 47 senators. If somebody may ask, what is the role of the Senate? Yes, they will keep the work of the county in touch. They ensure that the debate, he represents the county. Any affairs of the county, he debates upon, he oversees. He ensures that even the funds of the county are well accounted for. So he goes to represent his county. And that's why we find it quite essential to have the Senate to oversee the counties. We also have the National Assembly. National Assembly works hand in hand, or it is connected, or it links up very many arms of government, because their presence is important. As for example, when you look at the judicial system, we were told that in the Court of Appeal, we must have judges as prescribed by the Act of the Parliament. Don't you see the Parliament or the National Assembly is now coming in? They come in. So see how essential it is. So I want to give you some few laws. So here, at the Senate is headed by the Speaker. These are ex-official members, even the Attorney General is ex-official member also, but the Speaker is the main. Also the National Assembly is headed by the Speaker. It's headed by the Speaker. You get that? Now, if you look at the National Assembly, we have got some few roles. Because in the National Assembly, we have got constituencies. We have got constituencies. Nowadays it was subdivided into many. A while ago we have 290. So here we have got constituencies, and these constituencies are headed by the member of the Parliament. We also have, at the lower level, we also have the members of county assembly. members of the county assembly, MCAs. They work at the county levels so that laws, they pass laws that are actually essential or are used in the county level. They legislate there. Now, what would be the functions of the National Assembly? They, first I can say, they approve the budget. Approves the budget. You see, they approve the budget. Approve the budget. So when the budget in our country, we know that the budget is read after every yearly after 6 months. So on July of every year, we have to come up with a new budget, and this budget is actually approved at the national level, at the National Assembly. That is their function. That is just one. We have got several functions of the National Assembly. We have got several functions of the National Assembly of Kenya. Second, the second function here of the National Assembly. And before we forget, the parliament is run or is dissolved after every 5 years. After every 5 years, the parliament is dissolved so that it will go for another election. So election takes place after every 5 years. And here, when election is done, the parliament, all two upper houses, the Senate, all the houses are dissolved. The parliament and the Senate. And dissolution takes place by the president. He dissolves both the parliament so that we can go for a new election. So, another function of the parliament is to ensure that they validate, they vet any state officer that has been appointed by the president. State officer appointed by the president. So if a state officer has been appointed by the president, the National Assembly ensures that they vet these people, and then if the verdict come out positive, then their names will now be forwarded so that the president can now sign, and then these people swears in and start and carry out their jobs or carry out their tasks. That means two main vital functions here is to ensure that they approve the budget. Another one, any officer that has been appointed by the president must pass through the parliament so that they will be vetted. When they are vetted, the result come out positive. Now these people can start work at any given time. So up to that juncture, I will say that we have learned the three arms of the government. As I said, the legislature, the judiciary, the executive. We have also seen the functions and about outlined them appropriately and perfectly. So, I will urge my pupils to go through their works and actually not forget the vital functions of all these arms of the government, because they are set in our exams. So this marks the end of my lesson, and thank you. I hope you enjoyed my lesson. See you next time.